Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb's also an author. Barb's a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. And if you can't listen to the entire show, it's always available by going to Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or you can just search Barb on most of the popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all of the rest. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market and one of the largest assets that you probably have, it's your home. Barb, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, Richard, I'm excited about today's show because I've done some deep dive on data and research trying to find out what's really going on in this market. It's not acting like it normally does. Yet if you look backwards to last month's data, the market looked pretty strong. So we're going to deep dive into that and cover the topic of what to do when your home is not selling. And then the next topic we're going to cover is why are new homes selling faster than resale homes? We'll talk about that and let you know what kind of the buyer's perspective of these homes actually is. And then the third topic is a favorite of mine, how to get multiple cash offers when selling your home. And last of all, but not least, how to pick the best realtor when you're ready to sell a home. And of course, I always love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
Well, it's the biggest investment. So making sure you got the most qualified person, whether it's experience or technology, somebody like you makes a world of difference. So as we wade into the holiday season, what's in store for the future of the area real estate market?
Well, Richard, the one numerical thing to watch if you're a home seller is interest rates. Now, I meet with home sellers all the time. I met with one last week that they've got a target home in mind, but they've got some work to do to get their house ready for sale. So this is a good time to do that. In October, the interest rates bumped up over 8%, which is kind of like a full stop on the buyer activity because it's all about affordability. But mortgage rates fluctuate with supply and demand as well. In other words, if they go up to 8% and they don't have a bunch of loan applications, they're going to flux down a little bit to try and get some action. As of yesterday morning, the interest rates were at 7.37%, still close though to the highs of the year. So if you look back across all of 2023, it wasn't too bad early in the year. And here's a clue. Early in the year, we had lower interest rates. And during that time, the inventory went down and prices went up. So interest rates are a really, really important factor to take a look at. Also, pending sales actually have slowed down, and that's because of rates. What we're seeing a lot of right now, Richard, is buyers are coming in with these ridiculous, either A, lowball offers, or B, asking for a lot of extraordinary concessions. I got one last night. The buyer came in 3% below asking price and asked for another 5%, meaning $15,000 of the seller to pay the buyer's closing cost along with the seller's closing cost. And you're seeing this happen in pretty much every zip code in the area. So I actually signed up for a new data company, and I'm really excited about it because most of the data I get from the MLS is looking backwards in time. It's not as real time as what I've gotten from this company. And what's cool about it is I can get weekly data that will give you a little bit more information about the trends of what's happening and what's it going to be like going forward. So what we're seeing overall in the Colorado Springs area is it's still a seller's market, but just barely, okay? Just barely a seller's market. And it's, it depends on the price range. It depends on the condition of the home. And so what are we going to see in the future? The key factor to watch is interest rates. If you see the interest rates tick down into the sixes, the buyers are going to jump on it. If it stays up in the sevens, there are going to be fewer buyers that can afford homes, or they're going to be making offers and asking the seller for massive seller paid concessions in order to buy down their interest rate. Now, Richard, what would you feel about like if somebody made an offer on your home and said, okay, I'll take your house. I'm going to come in lowball and I want you to pay all my loan closing costs so I don't have to come out of pocket with cash to buy my home. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I should call to you and get your advice or have you representing me, because somebody's trying to take advantage of me and take advantage of the fact that I don't know as much as you do.
Well, I mean, I don't know everything, and every week is different. The market has been changing rapidly ever since the Fed started raising interest rates back in April of 2022. But I learned a little bit after looking into this data company about what you need to watch out for if you're a home seller or a home buyer. We're going to go into that in the next segment. But as it stands right now, the average days on market has gone up over 50 days. Once we get up over 60, now we're getting into buyer's market territory, and you have to be ready for some negotiations. So here's what you have to look for. If the rates go up, the number of available homes is going to go up, and it's very likely the sellers that are not selling their home, their prices might come down. If the rates go down, the buyer demand is going to pick up, and all of a sudden you're going to see competition for homes for buyers and fewer homes for them to purchase. So it's a very delicate balance here right now where the interest rates are. And I will tell you, just last weekend, Richard, we had an open house. We had 35 people attend in 1 hour. So it's not like it's a dead market. The nice homes are going to move, and they're going to move pretty fast. But I would definitely keep an eye on interest rates, because that absolutely is the big numeric thing to pay attention to. And you can Google it and find it pretty much anywhere. The other thing you have to think about is during this time, while the Fed's been raising rates, the builders have been in a growth period. They are grabbing market share like crazy because A, they have a pretty nice new home. B, they have enough scale and enough volume to offer decent incentives to motivate buyers to want to make an offer. They'll do things like help them pay closing costs and buy down their interest rates, give them incentives so they can put the finishing touches on their brand new home. And so as a result, their market share has absolutely doubled. And, there's some buyers sitting on the sidelines thinking that, hey, I'll just wait for lower prices and lower interest rates. But it's not, you shouldn't do that. And what we're going to see is if the rates go down into the sixes, all of a sudden the inventory is going to drop again, because we're still kind of right at where we were before the boom. We don't have a growth in inventory, yet we have a growth in population. So what I think is going to happen if the rates jump down into the sixes, all of a sudden the market's going to heat up again. Not like what we saw during the boom, but it'll be enough that if a buyer doesn't make a decent offer, if they don't jump when the time is right, they're not going to get the house. And as far as the weekly available inventory, most of these experts are saying right now, we're probably at the peak, and we're going to see it drop down as we go into the spring. Inventory grew late last year, just like it's doing this year. And the mortgage rates actually rose late last year, just like it's doing this year. So buyers think, oh, I'll wait for rates to fall to buy. But if the rate drops, all of a sudden the inventory drops. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about, what do you do if your home is not selling? And in the next segment, what we're going to be talking about, what home sellers should expect to see and what they need to do in this market right now if they need to sell right now. And part of what we do is help home sellers sell homes and buyers buy homes all the time. I've been here in the business since the 1990s. I have over 27,750 3 buyers in waiting just on my little website. Typically, I can match at least 100 buyers for your home. So if you are thinking of making a move, go to barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll be happy to give you a free in-home consultation or just share with you a home value so you can kind of plan on where you're going next year. And just click on Barb Has the Buyers, register anywhere, and we'd love to help you, or call us at 719-301-3900. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the current real estate market and how people can be prepared if they want to buy or sell. So, what should home sellers expect and do in a market situation like this one?
Well, again, it's inventory is the name of the game, and interest rates are the name of the game. So they move together. If rates go up, inventory goes up, which means the buyers have more choices, but they're also making lower offers. If rates come down, inventory drops down, and buyers have fewer choices, and hopefully they're going to make really good offers. There are a lot of experts right now that are predicting the rates are going to drop down into the spring, which will be wonderful. But then we're going to see a corresponding buyer demand pickup because buyers are more reactive to the change in rates, not the rates themselves. Just to put it in perspective, a majority of the buyers right now, I'd say probably 45 to 50% are the younger generation, Gen Xers, millennials, even Gen Z. So those folks in their history had only seen 3% interest rates. I've talked to young people that have 2.25, 30-year fixed, unbelievable rates. And the reason why the rates were so low really had to do with the Fed kind of manipulating the market. So when the Fed started raising the rates very rapidly, they had never seen this before. And it did definitely have an inverse relationship on prices, right? Rates go up, prices go down. However, it's been now almost a year and a half since that started. And that generation, or those 3 generations, have kind of gotten used to it. And now they're just looking for short little windows to jump in. So there is kind of some pent up demand for buyers in the market right now. And they're just looking for the right time to make a move if they want to buy a home. So consumers are more sensitive to the changes in the interest rates than the actual interest rates themselves. And then I'll show you an example. So when you look back last year from February 2023, or this year, February 2023, all the way through June, the average and the median prices went up every single month during those 5 months. And that is when the rates were down in the 6s. So I'm hoping that will happen. That'll be a good thing for everybody, but it'll be a little tougher for buyers because they're going to have to be completely prepared to jump on it when the time is right. The good news is we could be seeing maybe the bottom of this little mini housing recession that's brought on by the Fed. And what do you do if you're a home seller? Well, the options are if you have to do it right now, be like a builder, offer some incentives, be negotiable, because otherwise these buyers are going to look at new construction, even though they may not be able to get that nice new lot or nice, beautiful lot that's got mature landscaping or a bigger lot. They can get everything fresh, new, updated, and it looks pretty. So they're going to lean towards that, especially with these builders offering huge incentives. I've heard numbers as high into the $20-some thousand that they're giving to buyers to do with what they want, like buy down their interest rate or get whatever kind of upgrades that they may want. So you have to, be like them in order to attract the buyers to come to you. And also price very realistically. I mean, uber realistically, because buyers are very interest rate sensitive right now. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing why are new homes selling faster than resale homes. Stay tuned for that.